just to continue on Klopp, Gabby, because our own Nathan Manua, the game was on ESPN, was next to interview Klopp, and he thought, maybe this is not the best. But Klopp was fine with him. He was in a better mood. So clearly the question rattled him a bit, but after that, he was fine.
Maybe he just likes Nathan more.
Yeah, maybe he likes Nathan more. I think there's something to say about Liverpool's fitness, like physical, because obviously when you play so many games, when you only have half of your squad fit, or I know some of the players are coming back now, but you still have players injured and big players injured like Alexander-Arnold, like Alisson, like Jota. There will be a point where it will take its toll on you, I think, physically. And yeah, you can have the best manager, the best fitness coach, some of the best players in the world in your squad. There's a point where it's difficult physically, and I think you saw that a bit in extra time.
Maybe you saw it a little bit. It doesn't change the fact that you're 3-2 up in extra time with 15, 20 minutes to go. Right?
Yeah.
Or whenever the Elliott goal was, right? So you conceded 2 goals, right?
Yeah, that you gave away, by the way. The Darwin mistake.
Gave away.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's not an intensity. It can be maybe a fatigue thing.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think Liverpool had done more than enough to put the game away before.
Yeah,
I think these were mental errors that might have been partially caused by fatigue. But I don't think Liverpool need to play with that intensity to beat this United team. They can beat them with quality too.
Yeah,
because they have better players.
And they were superior. I mean, there's good stuff from United the first 20 minutes, and after that, Liverpool.
So between the fact that now we're coming up on an international break, some of these injured guys are coming back. I don't know if he put Gravenberch on the bench just because he needed to fill a spot, but I'm assuming the guy is on his way back to fitness. Mohamed Salah is on his way back to fitness.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is some of your squad players are just not producing for you. So when we see Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez run themselves into the ground, well, it's also because he doesn't trust Cody Gakpo to contribute anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had to play him in this game because he had to take Salah off, but he's just not working. So I think it's more some of those situations. One guy who I do think that they really miss, maybe he's not as flashy as Curtis Jones, but I put it this way. Clubs start using this as an excuse, right? He's just talking about the many games that they've played.
Yeah, but is it really an excuse? I think it's a fair point.
I think it's a fair point, but I think it's a fair point that's faced by Liverpool's peer clubs, or peer club, which is Manchester City. Perhaps not United. And then if you look at the injuries this season, I don't want to be the guy because this always happens. Like, this team's medical staff, the other team's medical staff. But the reality is, City have had very few significant injuries, this season. Holland out a spell, De Bruyne in and out, and Grealish now, right? I mean, that is nothing compared to what Liverpool have had.
For sure.
It's part of the game. That's why you have these big. That's why you have these
big
squads. I mean, I think Liverpool lost this because United kept going. United could have collapsed. Let's not. There's a parallel universe here, where Old Trafford says, "Screw this. We're embarrassed again. Why do I have to go and see this freaking Muppet show on the pitch?" And it said it didn't happen. And this brings me to somebody who I've been really critical of because I think he's deserved it, because I think he hasn't produced. I think in this game he missed a couple big chances, but he also came up big, and I thought he played really well as Rashford. I think he played a big role in G'ing up the crowd. Because it's one thing for McTominay to wave his arms around and give you effort. Yeah, he's going to do that, but ultimately, quality-wise, he's still McTominay, right?
Yeah.
Bruno, another one of these leaders, it's always there. The leadership's always there with Bruno. But Rashford, I think, in some ways, almost reconnected. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, completely. I think the underwhelming season from a United point of view is also because it's an underwhelming season from a Rashford point of view. Yeah. And I think the two are very much linked.
But could this be where he turns the corner?
But maybe. But we've said that before too. We've said that before about United as well. Or they win 2 games in a row. We say, it's okay now, they're better. I still see things when I watch that game structurally, tactically, that don't make any sense at all. Like that. I mean, I was going to say space between the lines. It's not even space between the line. It's literally the Atlantic Ocean between the line, between whether it's your back 4 and your midfield, or the back 4 and your midfield 2, plus the rest of the team. You just, at that level, this is not acceptable. From a manager like Ten Hag should not have any of his teams playing like that. So there's still clearly a lot of things that are not right. But if at least you get the best out of Rashford, that you get, defensively, Onana again made some good saves, I thought. If your team's still believing and you put the effort in and you don't give up, then I think that can take you places. Is it good enough for a top 5 finish? I'm not so sure, because I think Spurs and Villa have been better than United in the league this season. That's very simple.
And they have better coaches.
Yeah, certainly.
And more points.
But yeah, maybe this is something. Maybe the worst thing that actually happened after this game is that Ten Hag doesn't see his players for another 2 weeks. And they don't play again for 2 weeks, because maybe after a performance like this and a win like this,
you want to challenge
completely, and then you go again in 3 days and say, look, we've got that momentum, that dynamic, all the energy, the fans are on side, we play again at Old Trafford, then we go and win, and now you can't even build on this, because by the time we go back to the Premier League in 2 weeks' time, it's not that we won't remember this game, but it's just like everybody would have moved on to something else.
On Ten Hag, the flipping the fullbacks around, which you can say, look, this is something that, other coaches have done in the past. Yeah. Flipping him around for this big game.
So Dalot and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. And we know Diallo can play both flanks, whatever. But
yeah,
I hadn't seen Wan-Bissaka play. I'm sure he has before, but I hadn't seen him play on the left, right? And he's primarily a defensive player anyway. It's not the big... I mean, I'm not saying this is what helped United stay in the game, although I think they both did a good job. Diallo later deputizing at center back, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it shows Ten Hag is still trying to tweak, still trying to look for answers. That guy has not given up, and he's not as stubborn and inflexible as some people might have thought that he was, right?
Yeah. But I think that Salah is going to start at right winger for Liverpool. So you maybe play your best defender that you have 1v1 against him, especially if he's right-footed, because Salah is going to come inside onto his left foot. Other managers have used that trick before, putting a right footer.
Okay, but Ten Hag hasn't, so that's pretty cool.
I know. But
right?
yeah. No, I think he's good. But again, I think the way that he kind of threw the kitchen at the sink,
the kitchen sink
at it in extra time, they finished again with 2 defenders really, and that was it. So,
and one of them was Maguire.
Exactly. So I think for that, I deserve credit, because it's either you explode, but you lose. If you lose 3-1 instead of 2-1, it's okay, you still lose. Or you come back into the game the way they did. And well done. And well done to your boy Amad Traore. I know you're the biggest fan. Even with the red card.
Amad Diallo, as he is known now.
Yeah, Amad Diallo. Even with the red card, we forgive him, of course, because it's a lovely finish. Like, maybe Kelleher should do a little bit better, because it looks from a long way that this is what Amad Diallo is going to do. But still, the precision is perfect. They play that 2v1 very, very well, even if Conor Bradley, like I said, stumbles a little bit.
Okay, I love, as you know, the Amad story. For those who don't know and don't remember, this is a kid who was trafficked from his country, from the Ivory Coast. He was trafficked. He was given fake papers. He was given a different name. He became Amad Traore.
Yeah, in Italy.
He was given a new brother, Hamed Traore, who's now at Napoli and was at Bournemouth briefly. Yeah. And he was adopted by an Ivorian or by an Italian of Ivorian descent, or whichever way they did it, right?
Yeah, it was messy.
Look, he's gone on to make a good living and gets to play professional football, so you can say it's a happy ending. You wonder how many other kids went through this system, which is why it's important that these people are now behind bars. But then if you remember, when he signs for United, it's all that money. Mark Ogden doesn't like him. He has a difficult time. He gets injured. He goes to Sunderland on loan. I'm told he does well. I wouldn't know because I don't watch the lower divisions. Then he comes back, and then to do this, and that joy in him ripping off his shirt, he said he didn't realize he'd already been booked.
Yeah, you could see on his face.
I mean, if you're not tempted to just say screw it and make my winger rotation him.
But we said he should have played more before. I don't know why Antony would come on before him.
Because Antony's there.
But I don't care.
By the way, can I say something? See, Antony scores, right, mega deflection. I mean, there were a lot of deflected goals in this game.
Yeah.
Right? Which, hey, look, part of the game. Makes the game more exciting, right? And then running off, I don't know if he was kissing the badge or pointing and stuff. I'm like, dude, you need to keep a very low profile until
He's
you
happy.
It kind of bugs me. If I were a United fan, it would really bug me.
Why?
Because
it's you scored the equalizer in the 88th minute.
It's fine, but don't give it the big one with the badge and stuff like that. No, it really bugs me. You've come here, you've got all this baggage from all your off the pitch issues and women and stuff like that, right? You contribute absolutely nothing other than a couple stupid stepovers, which, by the way, in space, every single one of your teammates, except possibly Scott McTominay, can do too, right?
Yeah, I can.
Maybe not the goalkeeper. Maybe not Onana. But still, right?
Yeah.
And then you do this, okay, well, whatever. I don't want to be
He only scored against Newport
I just want to say,
season.
I need to see a lot more. If you're going to take this opportunity, I just want to see work. I don't want to see badge kissing. I don't want to see giving it this and that, because you don't deserve that right now, right? Like you take it from the McTominays, who you can mock for his lack of ability in playing football.
Yeah.
But, he's there to be counted.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Kobe Mainoo, there to be counted.
Sure. I would never play a double pivot in midfield of McTominay and Kobe Mainoo, by the way. Because poor Kobe Mainoo.
Well, there's no Casemiro.
Yeah, no, I know, because
you would have played Amrabat.
100%. No, don't give me the whole lot. That's why, tactically, there was that oceans between the lines, because
and
McTominay cannot play in that position. Seriously.
If I can explain this too, if you watch it on television, right, it was very, very obvious. Same thing over and over again. But I also want to say, it's not Kobe's fault. You cannot, if you're playing two in that position, one guy can't move on his own to fill the gap.
Definitely not.
This is where you as a manager,
I felt for him, to be fair.
Because I think Kobe actually reads the game really, really well. I think he's a really smart player. This is when you have to change it. You say, all right, McTominay, you move further up. Alongside Bruno, we'll try to press in a 4-1-4-1. But you cannot be alongside Kobe Mainoo and make all the wrong movements continuously.
Definitely not. But they got away with it, so well done. Well done. It's true.
Okay.
Against Fulham, similar pattern. They didn't. They got battered. And then this time against Liverpool, they got, and well done to them.
All right. More broadly on the game, as a neutral, was this fun? Or are you going to be snooty and point out all the mistakes?
I loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I loved everything. But those are special games. Even if it was not perfect technically, by far, really by far, I like it. And I just like the fact that United didn't give up. And even if it looks like at times it was comfortable for Liverpool in the second half when they were 2-1 up, and you think, okay, they're playing with them, they're toying with them at times. Surely they're going to score the third one and put this one to bed. Because they didn't, then it was still open. And I like the fact that those games are still open, because you never know what can happen. And again, this will become a classic. We will talk about this FA Cup quarterfinals for a very long time, and rightly so, because of that incredible scenario. So I loved it, man.
On Liverpool, you just regroup. I mean, in the same way that you said it's bad for United that there's an international break now.
It's not ideal,
Not ideal. It's probably good for Liverpool, right? Not just to get people back to fitness, but also because you can kind of banish this game, right?
Yeah, completely.
You're still in the running for a treble of sorts, right?
It is a treble.
League Cup still counts, right?
Yeah.
And I think Klopp knows how to handle the situations better than most, because he's been there and he's done that before.
Yeah,
not winning the treble, obviously. But
and then you will play them in the league again in a game that is in a way far more important than just an FA Cup quarterfinal. So there will be time for you to get one back on them.
You love your percentages. We still don't know, because this is a fascinating head-to-head, by the way. Germany versus England for second place behind the mighty Serie A in the European rankings. We had the Freiburg-West Ham game all of a sudden became pivotal.
And now West Ham Bayer Leverkusen, of course.
And now West Ham Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah,
it could only be done to that one as well.
Let me make this very, very simple, all right? Spurs fans, Villa fans, United fans, get behind the mighty Hammers
and
against
Arsenal.
Bayer Leverkusen.
And Arsenal Bayern Munich. If Arsenal beat Bayern Munich, I think it's over.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're asking a little too much.
I'm just saying.
If you want Spurs fans to get behind Arsenal.
Do Spurs fans want the Champions League? Get behind Arsenal then.